Alright, what is going on guys, it's Hybrid here, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different from my usual content, however it still will be centered around Apex Legends because that's the main game that I play. This can be applicable to COD, Fortnite, pretty much any shooter game you could think of, because this video is dedicated to improvement using Kovaak's FPS aim trainer. Before we get started, I'd like to say that I'm not sponsored or endorsed in any way by Kovaak, Steam, or any affiliated parties. I'm making this video out of my own desire to improve as a player, and I've seen some mixed opinions about using aim trainers, so I wanted to do my own tests and see how I progress. I'm not new to FPS games. I've been playing them since I was about 13, so around 7 years. However, I spent the majority of that time playing on controller. Starting with Call of Duty, of course, as most gamers do, and moving on to Apex Legends when it launched in 2019. I played Apex Legends on console from the time the game came out until August of 2019, and switched to keyboard and mouse only 9 months ago. It was one of the biggest decisions I'd ever made, but I was determined to become a better player and really take the game seriously. I was pretty bad when I started. I went from dropping 20 bombs on console to barely being able to hit a shot on keyboard and mouse. But that didn't stop me. I grinded out Apex Legends almost every single day, practicing my mechanics and focusing on really trying to improve as a player. It's safe to say that within that time, I've improved my mechanics significantly, with over 1,000 hours on keyboard and mouse, and some decent achievements in the realm of aiming and performance. My clips and stats aren't really anything to flex, however, I'm proud of what I've been able to achieve in such a short time, and it really shows that with determination, even a below average player can rise up and become good if they choose to. However, what separates a great player from a good player is the ability to understand your flaws and actively work to improve them. I found that my aim, while being good at times, could be very inconsistent in others, causing me to underperform in situations that should otherwise be easy for me. That's where Kovacs comes in. Kovacs is a sandbox training game with over 3,000 practice scenarios to choose from, all designed with different goals in mind, whether you want to improve your tracking at close range, the speed of your flicks, your precision, or literally anything else. You can do it with Kovacs. Kovacs gives players an environment to practice their aim and mouse control without having to worry about the other variables that you can encounter in-game, such as having to consider positioning, map knowledge, loot if you're playing a BR, character selection, and more. Now naturally, it can be pretty overwhelming to try to figure out what you should be practicing when it comes to your aim, because you might not know where to start. Sifting through all the information on the internet can be a pain and generally not worth the hassle. For the sake of this video, I'll be using Aimer7's Kovaak's aim workout routine, which I will leave a link to in the description below if you'd like to check it out. I will warn you that it is quite a read, however if you're serious about improving your mechanics, I would highly recommend you check it out. Despite my small amount of experience, I decided to start at the complete beginner section anyway, as I felt I might be lacking good fundamentals and this would give me some good information that I could use for future training. I chose the complete routine, which covers tracking and click timing, otherwise known as flicking, through 6 scenarios: close long strafes, 1 wall 6 targets TE, Fugla XY long strafes, tile frenzy strafing, vertical long strafes, and 1 wall 1 target. Close long strafes would pit me up against a bot that made long strafes in either direction, testing my ability to track for extended periods of time, and my target acquisition after the bot had changed directions. 1 wall 6 targets would judge my speed at snapping to targets while penalizing me if my accuracy began to slip. This scenario was hard because I play in a lower sense, but allowed me to get more comfortable flicking to targets regardless. Fugla XY long strafes allow me to practice a mix of vertical and horizontal tracking, good for aiming at somebody from high ground or far away. This also introduces a bit of precision tracking into the mix. Tile Frenzy Strafing 01 would allow me to practice effective click timing, snapping to targets as they were strafing. Much more effective than other scenarios. I'm looking at you, Jumbo Tile Frenzy. Fun, but not really helpful in the long run. Vertical long strafes allow me to practice vertical tracking on a target moving up and down, good for learning mouse control. This actually helped me improve my recoil control a good bit, as well as improving my ability to track someone mid-air. Finally, 1 wall 1 target helped me improve reaction time and flicking to targets quickly while penalizing for bad accuracy. I recorded my hour-long sessions every single day for 10 days and exported the data into a handy web app that I will also link down below to track my average progress. What I found that was starting out, my mechanics were okay, but inconsistent, as I was already aware of. My scores for all scenarios rose significantly, trending upwards the more I practiced, showing consistent improvement in my tracking and click timing, and I even set some pretty high scores in some scenarios. Looking at the progression between day 1 and day 10, you can see a clear improvement in the speed at which I'm able to adjust my aim when tracking, and the speed at which I flick the targets. My scores across the board increased to the point where I held scores well above the median during my final day of testing, and as of the time of recording this video, I'm still improving and beating my scores every day. But scores aren't everything. Sometimes you're going to be in a slump, maybe have a bad day. The main thing to keep track of is your overall mouse control and aim. It should get easier over time to track and flick, and by over time I mean over the span of a week or two and beyond, not after just one play session. With dedication, you'll see improvement just like I did. Keep in mind though that everyone is unique and people will progress differently than others. It might take you longer to see improvement, or you might find you progress a lot faster than others or even myself. I'll point out that depending on where you are in your experience with FPS games will determine your improvement at first. That is, if you're a more experienced aimer, you'll see smaller improvements, as opposed to if you're completely new to FPS aiming. But you might be saying, well that's cool and all, but how does that actually help you aim better in game? I took the liberty of scrubbing through my gameplays and clips throughout the week and looking for moments where I could see legitimate improvement in my performance and linking that to my training in Kovaaks. In general, I felt a lot more confident in my aiming. After warming up, I felt confident picking up weapons and I found my shots were a lot more steady and I had better control over my mouse. While I was still subject to a whiff here and there, I genuinely felt like my aim was a lot more consistent every day I got on. And the clips I'm going to show in a second will definitely prove that. Now these tracking clips are a perfect example of how my ability to track targets up close and stay on target consistently was directly impacted by my consistent playing of close long strafes invincible. Similarly, you can see my ability to snap to a target with pinpoint accuracy improved due to practicing scenarios like tile frenzy strafing and one wall one target. My ability to flick onto targets that were moving was directly impacted by playing these scenarios, and it's easy to tell by watching the clips that I improved because of it. Not only did playing Kovaak consistently every day improve my confidence, it allowed me to take control of mechanics I felt were always going to be weak points, and turn them into measurable goals I could work towards and improve. Now I couldn't make this video without mentioning that aim training won't magically make you an insane player. Kovaak is supposed to be a tool to train specific mechanics with your aim and mouse control. It's still up to you to train your game knowledge, movement, and other mechanics related to your game of choice. It's no secret that many pro players have thousands of hours in their game of choice, and countless more in other FPS titles generally. Some argue that the best way to get better at a game is to just play that game, and while that is true, I genuinely believe that 30 minutes to an hour of aim training a day can really help fast track your improvement and help sharpen skills that would otherwise take a lot longer to progress. A good balance for serious players would be 30 minutes to an hour of aim training, followed by playing your game of choice and focusing on improving something in your game of choice. I talked about this a little in my 6-month progression video, but the best way I've learned to improve in such little time is to really self-evaluate and find out what your flaws are so you can turn them into strengths, whether it be hipfire, movement, fumbling keybinds, or even specific guns you might avoid, because the best players are genuinely well-rounded, with the ability to use multiple characters, weapons, and styles of aiming to dominate the competition. So, the final verdict. Did Kovaak's FPS aim trainer help fix my inconsistent aim and lack of confidence in FPS games? Well, you've already seen the footage, but personally, I think so. I still have a lot of practice to go before I'm at the level I want to be, but the improvement in just 10 days of aim training, along with playing Apex, is clear. If you're a competitive gamer or you like the idea of having that cracked aim that everyone thinks some people are just born with, I'd recommend throwing some aim training into your daily gaming routine. I'm definitely going to keep practicing Kovaaks before my gaming sessions and working on ironing out the inconsistencies in my aim. If this video inspired you to try it out, let me know your experiences and what you thought about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. This video was a big project that I've been working on for a little while now, and as such, it took me a lot of time to put it all together, gathering the data, recording the footage, and editing everything together into a final video. So I truly hope you guys enjoyed, and gained some knowledge or perspective from it. If you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you considered leaving a like on the video, and if you want to see more Apex Legends gameplay from a growing content creator dedicated to improvement and pushing boundaries, please consider hitting that subscribe button with notifications on. We are getting closer to 1,000 subscribers every single day, and I can't thank you guys enough. I also stream live on Twitch 4 to 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Hybridify_. Feel free to stop by and ask me any questions or just chat for a bit. I'd love to see some of you there. Anyway guys, that's going to wrap it up for now. As always, it's been Hybrid, and I will see you all in the next video. Later.